What's up, guys? So interesting lesson here. So this is something new, but it's something I want you guys to really work on because a lot of people, a lot of test takers, unfortunately, are really lazy. They're not doing a lot of outside practice outside of the usual TOEFL lessons and advice. Okay, they're just taking a bunch of TOEFL IBT practice tests, and they think that's enough to get them ready for the exam. Sometimes that may be the case if you're really good with the English and maybe you have like a vast knowledge of academic English. You could get away with it sometimes, but for those of you who are not comfortable in English as a second language or English as a foreign language, and you have very limited understanding and ability when it comes to topic vocabulary for all kinds of topics and themes, that's something you got to really work on, because maybe in the listening sections, right, you're not able to understand exactly what they're discussing. Or when it comes to the TOEFL reading, you're getting hanged up by one word, okay? You're hung up on one word and you're stuck on it, you're dwelling on it, you think you know what it means, but then you doubt yourself, and a couple of minutes goes by and eventually you run out of time when it comes to answering all those different questions on the TOEFL reading passage. And that sucks, that blows. So one thing you guys can do is anytime you encounter different topics in different subjects, fields, and disciplines like biology, astronomy, geology, art, history, music, whatever, you could kind of try to find articles online, just random articles about those topics, about those subjects, and then just pay attention to the kinds of topic vocabulary that's usually mentioned when it comes to those topics. Like, here's a good example. This is one I just created. So there was a recent TOEFL reading passage. I believe it was on the previous exam, if I'm not mistaken, last Saturday's exam. And I guess the TOEFL reading passage was just about plant viruses. Okay, I don't know what kind of words were in that passage. I didn't take the exam. One of my students did, but let's say I just run into this topic as something I want to practice: plant bacteria, plant viruses, plant fungi, right? Whatever. You could look up articles online and then pay attention to the kind of language that could be used when it comes to viruses. So like here, keyword anticipation. This is what I'm expecting them to talk if I've already read information about this before. So intracellular, maybe like something that has to do with being inside the cell. This is a nice adjective right here. Maybe they could talk about shapes, right? A tube, square. So this is a kind of shape. Genome, if you ever run into this word, it's just a set of DNA. You should be familiar with this one. Expect to see it a lot in TOEFL and other academic exams. Discover, right? Scientists, researchers, they usually discover a cure. They discover diseases, viruses, It's a verb you should be familiar with. Transmit is another nice verb, and it's an excellent one, not just related to science as a whole, but specific areas like viruses, right? Because viruses are transmitted. So plant viruses can be transmitted from one plant to another. Animal viruses, the same thing. They're transmitted from one animal or creature to another. A host plant, host organism, where the virus came from, right? That plant that, basically produced that virus. It was sick, it was ill, it was struggling, and this virus just, emerged from it. Vectors. So this is a really advanced one, but these are like the parasites, right? So an insect or animal that carries diseases from one organism to another. It's good to be familiar with this one. Think about mosquitoes, ticks, fleas, leeches. These are excellent examples of vectors. Or even, not just insects or, microorganisms, but you could think of something a little bigger, like, animals like mice, rabbits. These could be vectors for diseases as well, right? Think about the structure of the virus, right? Maybe they could have questions related to that, or information in general related to that. Infected. Well, when you think of viruses, you think of infections, right? They just naturally go together. So think of these different words, okay? Modifying words, adjectives, adverbs, or even nouns and verbs that are related to this topic, plant viruses. So think about like different words related to plants, perhaps, and more specifically, viruses, because it's going to be about plant viruses. All right. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon.